Well, you know, there's an old saying that dates back to 1929 to the great stock market crash on Wall Street. And that was when Wall Street sneezes, the world catches cold. But today, I think a more appropriate expression along those lines would be, if China coughs, the world may end up with double pneumonia. Because let's face it, that's the role that the Chinese economy plays in the world today. And China definitely has the sniffles right now. It's an economy that is creaking, but still fast growing, or relatively in any event, but on the backs of an army of workers, men and women, many of them young, and migrant labor as well, which should actually ring a bell here in South Africa about our own recent past. But we know little or nothing about this vast army. There's a common image, I think, that exists of the workforce in China, that it is huge, low paid, highly regimented, and docile. Well, yes, it is huge. It is relatively low paid, still regimented, but it is not docile. You know, an academic, Professor Mike Davis of the University of California, noted recently that President or Chairman Xi Jinping, the President of China, could possibly be facing what he called the largest labor rebellion in history. Now, this remark is included actually on the cover of a book that was published this month in the United States called China on Strike. It's a series of interviews with worker leaders, with students, with their supporters who were involved in the various bits of labor unrest within China. And some of these actions actually have a strong echo of our own recent labor history in South Africa. In China, a repressive one-party state with censorship applying, it's not perhaps surprising that we didn't know, or I certainly didn't hear, about a strike by 40,000 workers in the world's largest athletic shoe factory in China in 2014. We don't hear about these things, but according to the interviews and some of the material that has started to trickle out and come out through the various trade union channels, what is happening in China is we've seen young workers, many of them women, who have taken independent action, set up independent organizations, because the only unions allowed, of course, or condoned, are those that are owned and run basically by the state. And this is growing at an incredible rate. And let's face it, if there is a major labor explosion in China, it is going to affect everyone. And the great irony, I think, in this is that here in South Africa, we still have, within the union movement, particularly within the COSATU leadership, within the South African Communist Party, and senior members of the ANC, who continue to look to China as some sort of signpost, alternative way forward, some sort of economic and social salvation lies in the Chinese direction. This is obviously not happening, and this book, China on Strike, makes that very, very clear. What it does show is that we are in one world, one single world. We have yet to have an alternative emerge from variations on the same capitalist theme. It's just one world. Well, anyhow, that is what I shall be concentrating on, focusing on in my Inside Labour column, which you can access on this platform, Fin24, tomorrow, and a version of which will appear in the business section of City Press on Sunday. In the meantime, once again, over to you. Let's hear your comments, suggestions, criticisms, or even more information that you might have about what is going on in what is perhaps the most important economy now, and I mean that, it's quite apart from the United States, and that is China. That will be my focus. All you have to do is send your questions, your criticisms, etc. to editor@fin24.com. That's editor@fin24.com. And for this week, that's all from me. Cheers.